On the brighter side of the news today is a heartwarming tale of a fearless young Muslim girl who went to an anti-Islam rally to pose for cheeky selfies with all the racist, bigoted protesters. Zakia Belkhiri is being hailed as a champion of peace, love, and tolerance by the BBC, the Huffington Post, Vice, Teen Vogue, The Telegraph, and many other sites. Mike News labeled Belkhiri its hero of the day. Christian Today boasts, an anti-Islam protest in Belgium has backfired after a Muslim girl posed in front of the group to take selfies. The BBC reports that Belkhiri took the selfies to show that things can be different and that we can live together, not next to each other, but with each other. The Telegraph posted a number of Belkhiri's tweets, including, "Never mind what I said, I'm proud of what I accomplished, share and care, peace and love. I don't want to brag and I don't want to spread hate. I just wanted to be cool and that succeeded. There will always be people who can't stand me or hate me, but why judge? I'm just a kid, nothing special. We are all human and one. I do not only respect Islam. All religions deserve respect. Jews, Muslims, Christians, we all believe in one God, don't we?" Teen Vogue concludes, "Zakia makes a remarkable point. Racism is often just ignorance. Once these protesters experienced and got to know her vibrant spirit, they immediately warmed up to her. We bet some of them even felt silly." There's just one problem with this feel-good story of the year. When the BBC and Huffington Post aren't looking, Zakia Belkhiri is a complete, utter, total racist. Her social media pages, which she removed as soon as people started taking screenshots, were filled with some of the most vile anti-Semitic rambling since Muhammad dictated the Quran. One of her deleted posts said that the reason Hitler let some Jews live was so that we would all understand why he killed so many Jews. The tweet reads, "Hitler didn't kill all the Jews, he left some, so we know why he was killing them." Now, I'm not really here to talk about Zakia's racist tweets. There's no shortage of Jew hatred in the Muslim world. I'm not even here to talk about the root of this hatred, which goes back to Muhammad's inability to deal with rejection. I'm here to talk about the media. You see, Belkhiri's views were just as public as the views of the anti-Islam protesters. Some of the news articles even quote her most recent Twitter posts when all the writers had to do was scroll down the page to see what she says when she's not being praised for melting the cold hearts of intolerant Europeans. But reporters just don't look for intolerance from people like Belkhiri, no matter how obvious it is. Instead, they condemn anti-Islam protesters and champion Belkhiri, even though Belkhiri's view should be far more disturbing. She's not complaining about an ideology, she's cheering for Hitler. So why do Western reporters spend their days looking for opportunities to expose any perceived intolerance among white Europeans or white Americans while they completely ignore intolerance among Muslims? Why do Western news organizations have completely different standards for white Europeans and Americans on the one hand and for anyone else on the other? Well, they have two sets of standards because they're racists. They have high expectations for white Europeans because they believe that white Europeans are civilized, responsible human beings who are capable of adhering to certain moral principles. They have much lower expectations for Muslims, which is why they treat Muslims differently and will turn a blind eye towards just about anything short of a terrorist attack. The BBC is every bit as racist as the KKK. The only difference is that KKK members are generally much more honest with themselves about their racism. BBC reporters delude themselves into thinking that by treating Muslims like perpetual children at best, or like subhuman animals at worst, they're somehow doing Muslims a favor. This racism of reporters is the most common source of their hostility towards critics of Islam. Now, just to be clear, there are people who criticize Islam and happen to be racists. There are people who are racist against Arabs or against Pakistanis. But usually the people who are critical of Islam are critical of the ideology and its consequences, not of the skin color of the person who adheres to the ideology. And their primary concern about the ideology is that certain elements of it are inconsistent with Western values and therefore lead to division, different rules for different groups, lack of integration, double standards, inequality. The media, swimming in an endless sea of contempt for non-white Europeans and Americans, can't comprehend the idea that everyone should be held to the same standard, so they lose their small racist minds when anyone insists that expectations shouldn't be lowered for Muslims. Ironically, the people who are most concerned about equality and who will protest ideas that lead to inequality are the ones who are condemned as racists and bigots. Meanwhile, the most glaring racist in this story is put forward as a hero. And the media organizations that continue peddling their soft bigotry of lowered expectations are patting themselves on their racist backs, basking in the knowledge that they somehow managed to set the moral bar so incredibly low for Muslims, even an avowed Hitler supporter can not only step over it, but also be celebrated as a role model. In a saner world, we might think that such blatant stupidity from the media would doom its proponents to supreme humiliation, and that putting Hitler fans on pedestals could only end in shame. Unfortunately, reality teaches us to agree with Camus, who said, "Stupidity has a knack of getting its way."